ربك راضية مرضية. صلوات. Since last few nights, we were discussing the issue which is very important, Islamic ethic and moral. But now, before Ashura, only there are 2 nights remains to discuss great sacrifice of the man in the history of mankind. And really, Karbala is very tragic event. Every year throughout the world, we are gathering to remember sacrifices of our third Imam, who is beloved son of Janabe Fatima Zahra Salamullah alayha. So that is very important for me to remember, especially night of 9th and 10th and the day of Ashura. What is Ashura? Who is Hussein? Why he stood against Yazid? What is the merit of Hussein? What is the dignity of Hussein in the eye of Allah and near Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Brothers and sisters, Ayah Karima which I recited from Surah Al-Fajr, Surah number 89. These are the last verses from this surah. Ayah number 27 to 30, which talks about our third Imam. Allah is addressing him by calling him, Ya ayyatuhan nafsul mutmainna, O satisfied soul, return to your Lord. Now, before I'll explain what is the meaning of satisfied soul, that is very important for me to explain you. There are 3 types of these souls. 3 types of the soul. One is known as Nafse Ammara, the sensual one. The majority of the people, they are having Nafse Ammara, so they are away from right path and truth path. And the second one is Nafse Lawama, for the time, for the period 30, 40 years or more, or sometime less. People, they are away from the right path, or sometimes the people, they are committing sin, but then they are regretting themselves. In our language, we are using one term is known as Zamir. So Zamir, that is the Nafse Lawama, that person is regretting and thereafter asking for forgiveness, returning to his Allah. And the third, the final, that is a satisfied soul. Allah given this soul to all Nabi, all Imam. But because they all are infallible, and the all infallible, they have this satisfied soul, but Allah is not calling any of them with this title. That title was only and only for our third Imam. And Allah addresses him by calling him, Ya ayyatuhan nasul mutmainna, O satisfied soul, return to your Allah. Brothers, when a person is dying, we are saying this is recommended for you, this is mustahab action. You read and you say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi rajiun. Verily we are from Allah and we shall return to Him. We are declaring in our prayer, in our ibadah, in Quran, Surah Al-An'am, ayah 162. Quran itself is saying, Qul inna salati, say, verily my prayers, wa nusuki, all my sacrifices, wa mahyaya, and my life, wa mamati, and my death, lillah, only for Allah. Who is Allah? Rabbil Alameen, who is the Lord of the universes. So our life, our soul, our ibadah, our worship, our prayer, our sacrifices, our life, our death, all are for Allah. We all will return to Allah. But no one is satisfied soul. Allah is addressing Imam Hussein as satisfied soul. Now you remember the first ayah on first day, which was topic of this lecture and majlis. Innaka la'ala khuluqin azim. This family is azim, the greatest family, the holy family of Rasul. Quran is saying, you are on the exalted position of the ethics and moral, the greatest one. Now you look, Quran, the 30th Sipara, the first surah, Amma yatasa'alun anin nabail azim. They are asking about the biggest news, the greatest news. What is the greatest news? Go, read the ayah. Go in detail, understand the tafsir. The greatest news, what was the greatest news from our Rasul? Either the salat or saab, hajj or zakat. There were the divine message, all divine message were delivered by our Rasul. But which was the greatest message? Amma yatasa'alun anin nabail azim. They are asking about the greatest message. And the tafsir is saying the greatest message is Imamat of Amirul Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam. So I was saying this was the greatest family because the grandfather, he is on the top in akhlaq. The father, his imamat and leadership, it was the greatest news according to the Quran. Amma yatasalun anin nabail azim. Now look, Ibrahim, because salat, prayers, sacrifices, for whom? For Allah. Not only we are praying, Prophet they were praying. Not only we are sacrificing, Prophet they were sacrificing. And Ibrahim, he is the one who sacrifices his son. Went to the Mina, slaughtering his son. When he wanted to slaughter his son, before he cut his neck, Allah sent sheep instead of Hazrat Ismail. Ismail was saved by Allah. But Quran is saying when Allah saved Hazrat Ismail, Allah is saying, I accepted your sacrifice, but we converted this sacrifice to the greatest sacrifice. وَفَدَيْنَاهُ بِذِبْحٍ عَظِيمٍ Surah Safat, Surah number 37, Sipara 23, Ayah number 107. What Quran is saying? وَفَدَيْنَاهُ Of course we accepted your sacrifice, but this is the smaller one. That is not the bigger one. And we converted this small sacrifice to the greatest one. وَفَدَيْنَاهُ You ask anybody who knows little Urdu or Arabic, he will say, what is the difference between Azim and Haqir? What is the difference between Adam and Allah? What those words, terminology, you go and read. Quran is saying, وَفَدَيْنَاهُ We accept fidya. I will tell you one thing. From Sharia and from fiqh. See, if a person is sick in the holy month of Ramadan, and because of his sickness, or the woman feeding her child, or the pregnant woman, or the old man, due to those reasons they are not fasting, then what Sharia is saying? They are supposed to give fidya. Are supposed to give fidya. What saying? Fidya. And what is the amount of the fidya? From here we can understand. Please try to understand from this masala shari, sacrifice of Imam Hussain. Shariat is saying, give fidya. And fidya for every day, give 750 grams wheat. Give 750 grams wheat. And if a person is deliberately, he is not fasting in the holy month of Ramadan, he has to do qada for one day. And for one day, one qaza, and 60 consecutive days kafara. That means 1 plus 60, 61. 61, that means for 10 days, it should be 610, 1830 fast with kafara for 1 month. 1830 kafara for 1 month. Now look, if a person due to those reasons which I mentioned, he is not fasting, only he is supposed to give 750 grams. Allah accepted his fidya. There will be no ask question for him. Why you were not fasting? Because those were the reason. He is giving how much? 750 grams. Okay, that person cannot fast for 60 days consecutive. What he will do? Now you free your slave. Slavery system has gone. Only two options are there. Either you fast for 61 days, 1 plus 60, or you give food to the 60 needy and poor people. How many people? 60 people for 1 day. And now for 1 day fasting, fidya is 750 grams. Now you look, if you are giving kafara, that kafara is how many times more than fidya? Fidya is very little amount. And kafara is any time more than that. Now Quran is saying, we accepted sacrifice of Ismail, but it was the fidya. And we converted this sacrifice to the greatest sacrifice of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam. Please recite salawat louder. Because I opened just one new way for understanding this sacrifice of Imam Hussain. I am not saying it was the smaller one. It was the smaller one. See, of course I will continue my English lecture, but at the same time, because you are enjoying, so one Urdu couplet. So from here we can understand. Shair, the poet, he is saying, Kya taqabul Khalilullah ka shabbir se? क्या तकाबुल खलीलुल्लाह का शब्बीर से ख्वाब बेहतर हो नहीं सकता कभी ताबीर से ख्वाब बेहतर हो नहीं सकता कभी ताबीर से why शायर and the poet he is saying you cannot compare sacrifice of Imam Hussain with the sacrifice of Ibrahim because anytime interpretation is better than dream. Because it was the dream of sacrifice, it was seen by Ibrahim, and Hussain is the one who made true